Hey world, it's your girl, Sunnyside 55, and I am back today with another great video. But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and drop a comment, okay? Today's topic is the truth about Easter. Now, this day in Christian belief is the day that the Messiah rose from the dead, giving us redemption through him. The crucifixion and resurrection happened during the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is Passover, and we are commanded to celebrate this according to Exodus 23 and 15. One might say, when is Passover? Passover is the 14th day of the first month, and on the 15th day of the first month is the Feast of Unleavened Bread, and for 7 days you should eat unleavened bread, according to Leviticus 23, 5 through 7. Now, the holiday Easter was decided in Rome at the Council of Nicaea in 325 AD, and they decided it should be the first Sunday after the first full moon after the spring equinox. So after spring, March 21st, the first full moon after spring, that Sunday would be the Easter Sunday, okay? And sometimes Passover and Easter can fall on the same day. But all of this paganism goes back to Nimrod and the Tower of Babel, okay? Now, Nimrod was worshipped as the sun god, okay? And Hebrews called him Baal, and his mother/wife, which was Semiramis. And Semiramis had various names. She was the queen of Babylon, Madonna, the queen of heaven, and she was also called Ishtar, which translates to Easter. Now, when Nimrod died, she labeled herself as the moon goddess, okay? And she told her followers that she was having a virgin birth from the spirit of Nimrod. She also told them that she came to earth from a giant moon egg that fell in the Euphrates River. Now, when she had this baby, his name was Tammuz, and he was born on the winter solstice. Basically, his birthday is December 25th. Now, when you research Tammuz, he was known as Eros and also as Cupid, okay? And he was again associated with fertility. And he was also said to be, Ishtar's son/husband, which actually Tammuz is the reincarnation of Nimrod. But Ishtar came to be the pagan fertility goddess, okay? And the festival of Easter was just a celebrated sex orgy, okay? Worshippers celebrated this conception of Tammuz on the first Sunday after the full moon. And this was celebrated by baking cakes to Ishtar, getting drunk, having sex orgies in the temple of Ishtar. Now, women were required to celebrate by laying down and letting whomever enter into them. Babies were then sacrificed in honor of the pagan gods, and their blood was consumed by the worshippers. The priest would sacrifice infants and dip their eggs into the infant's blood at the altar of the fertility goddess Ishtar. When the eggs would hatch 9 months later, on December 25th, which was Tammuz's birthday, this was the celebration of Tammuz, okay? Now, Lent is a Babylonian tradition, and it was to symbolize 40 years that Tammuz lived. And during this time, people would basically, kind of be mourning for Tammuz, okay? And they would weep for Tammuz. And this is known as Easter Sunday. Now, Ezekiel 8 and 14 tells us that this is an abomination, weeping for Tammuz, okay? Now, please remember this came from Rome. And Rome created this paganism. They also believed in Father God, Mother God, and Son God. But all these names, were changed to fit Christianity. And this is why this holiday was set on the first Sunday after the first full moon, because of what was going on in Babylon with Ishtar after the spring equinox. Now, Easter derived from Ishtar. This was known as a spring fertility festival. Most churches know this but won't tell you. Now let's take a look at where the customs derived from. Okay, Easter eggs. That's the symbol of rebirth of life and have been symbols of new life. Okay, Ishtar eggs or Easter eggs are symbols of fertility. Okay, and remember, these eggs were dyed with the blood of the sacrificed babies. Many babies will be born on December 25th from the sex orgies in the spring that would be sacrificed at the Ishtar temple the following Easter. This is why people dye eggs during Easter. Now, the Easter bunny. Now, ironically, we all know that bunnies do not lay eggs. The bunny simply is another representation of fertility. The rabbit or the hare is one of the most fertile creatures on earth. So it's an indirect reference to Ishtar representing fertility. Eating ham on Easter Sunday. Many Christians will eat ham for the Easter dinner. Again, this is because Tammuz was killed by a wild boar. So Ishtar proclaimed that since Tammuz was killed by a wild boar, or a pig, that a pig should be eaten on that Sunday. Another pagan custom from Babylon. And this was in remembrance of Tammuz's death. Anyone that does this is doing this in remembrance of Tammuz. Now, I want you guys to keep in mind that Satan is keeping score, and it does not matter if you know what you're doing is wrong or not. It still counts against you. Now, the hot cross buns. It was also common for worshipers to bake cakes to the mother goddess of heaven, and offerings was done on that Friday before the Easter festival, a complete pagan custom. Again, these buns are an abomination. This is mother goddess worship. Okay? Now, I hope that this information is brought to you to open your minds. Okay? It's strictly to inform anyone that when you are celebrating Easter, it's not the resurrection of Christ, but the rebirth of Tammuz and the spring orgy festival. I strongly suggest you participate in the Feast of Unleavened Bread, which is Passover. Thank you guys today for watching, and shalom.